Everyone, so this is Alea A. Alvinia, and today we will be talking about the idea in US as a comparative benchmark and also number 603 Child and Youth Welfare Code. So later on, we will be talking about these laws. And now let's proceed to our objectives. Our objectives in this class, by the end of the lesson, the students will be able to identify the key similarities and differences, such as PD number 603's a broad welfare focus versus ideas IEP mandate, and also discuss real life examples like applying IEP concepts to hypothetical classmates with special needs. And lastly, demonstrate appreciation for the child's right to the affection and moral guidance. Based on our picture, there are children. So there are some children also um, having a wheelchair. How do you think these children feel while playing or learning? Okay, very good. So, of course, they feel happy. At the same time, they feel excited. And also, depending on their support. So, later on, we will be talking about what's special in these children. Have you seen or heard the law about protecting these children? So now we will be talking about the law that protecting the children with disabilities. And these are the idea in US as a comparative benchmark, and also the PD number 603 Child and Youth Welfare Code. So let's proceed to what is an idea. So, do you have any idea of what is an idea? That is also called the Individual with Disabilities Education Act. So, we will be talking about this idea. So, an idea is giving an appropriate free education for the children with disabilities, and it has no cost. Also protects the rights of the children and their parents, including the access to individualized education. So to elaborate more, in US, a person with disabilities or a children with disabilities receive tailored education while safeguarding their rights and those of their parents. So, an idea also, parents' rights are protected via involvement in decision such as evaluation in IEP or individual education program. In IDEA, there are an evaluation. So this evaluation has something to do to determine whether that particular child is under the child with disabilities. So there are six principles and ideas. So first is free appropriate public education. A free appropriate public education ensures children to receive special education and and services tailored to their needs at no cost to families. So it is free. So the next principle is least restrictive environment. So again, what is free appropriate public education? Okay, so free appropriate public education is simply giving a free education to the children with this abilities. So next is least restrictive environment. So what is this? So a least restrictive education is educating children with disabilities alongside non-disabled peers to the maximum extent appropriate, using supports such as aids or modified instructions. So here an example. A student with dyslexia attends a full reading using audiobooks and text to speech while the peers read the printed versions. So there we see that in least restrictive education, there is inclusiveness. There is an understanding between in each other. And then the next principle is individualized education program. Individualized education program is, or what we call IEP. It legally requires documents like under law in the idea for students with disabilities. It details it details their it details their current abilities. Have a specific learning goals, and also they have a needed services like therapies, and also the accommodations like they need extra time and placement. In appropriate evaluation, it is the individualized assessment process to determine the child is qualifies for special education and have a unique educational needs, and also to identify their unique educational needs. In parent and student participation, it is refers to their legal rights to actively engage in decisions about special education services for their children with disabilities. And the next is parental safeguard. So what is parental safeguard? It is the legal protections ensuring parents and students with disabilities have rights in dispute resolutions. Requires the schools to provide a detailed explanations about before any significant changes to identification or evaluation. So the next is the PD number 603, the Child and Youth Welfare Code. So the PD number 603, it is the Philippine law that enacted in 1974 under President Ferdinand Marcos. It says there that in Article 3 that children have the rights to wholesome family life, parental guidance, basic needs like nutrition, and shelter, education, and protection. So the Article 3 also stated that a gifted child shall be given opportunity and encouraged to develop his talents. Let's move on to the differences and the similarities between the idea and the PDC number 603 is the idea focuses exclusively in ensuring the free appropriate public education in the US children with disabilities, and with disabilities through individualized education program, while the PD number 603, which is the Child and Youth Welfare Code, that focuses and covers all the aspects of a child and youth fair in the Philippines. Idea in US that we called a Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, and the PD number 603, which is the Child and Youth Welfare Code, are both protecting child's rights, particularly in education and welfare, and the parental guidance. They both have a parental guidance. So that's all, and thank you for your listening and participation in this